We're stirring change with every sip, empowerment in every tip. Together we teach, together we grow. Pour the knowledge, let it flow. So raise your mug, let's start the day with heart and tech to lead the way.
Hey there, and welcome to Tekanna, where teaching meets technology. I'm so glad you stopped by for a sip of inspiration today. Here, we mix a little bit of creativity, a dash of AI magic, and just the right amount of teacher tea where we answer all the questions. So grab your favorite mug, get comfy, and let's get to it. Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're looking at Canva. If you haven't used Canva before, it's free to educators. So all you have to have is your school login, email address, and you're good to go. Canva offers a tremendous amount of tools to create visuals and presentations and all the things. But today specifically, we're looking at one of the new tools that Canva just released in the last couple weeks, and it's called Canva Code. We're going to look and make sure that we click on where it says Canva AI, because we want AI to do all of the hard work for us. So we make sure that we're Canva AI, and then these are your options with the AI tools. Canva AI, we want to make sure that we scroll over and we click on Canva Code. If you look down here, you can see all the different things that Canva Code can do, and it can do way more than that. That's just what they have listed to help you get started. So if you're not sure what you want to do, you can use those prompts down at the bottom, and then you just simply type in what you want it to do and it'll figure it out. I currently know that it's almost winter when this video is being made, so I want my kiddos to build a snowman. So this first one is for first graders. So I already wrote out my prompt, so I'm going to put that in there. Okay, so my prompt says create an interactive build a snowman activity for first graders using winter sight words. The design should include a large symbol snowman with the different parts. And so you can continue to read that if you so choose, but let's let it work. Now, typically, depending on how specific you are in your prompt and what you're asking it to do, this can take up to a couple of minutes, typically less than 2. As you can see, it's already starting to code. It's already written almost 100 lines of code while we've just been talking. Y'all, this is incredible. If you are familiar with coding in any capacity, you know that coding has come a very long way in a very short time. And so to be able to write hundreds of lines of code in just a couple of seconds is truly incredible. And Canva has done a great job launching this and really making sure that it does what it needs to do. So we'll give it a second to continue to work. Again, it's been less than a minute. We already have almost 400 lines of code. And there we have it, y'all. So we end up with this beautiful basic snowman for our first graders. We have sight words that we want them to touch and play with. And so now, if I click on the word hat, the hat highlights and moves. If I click on the word warm, his scarf moves and highlights. If I want snow, it moves cold, coat, winter, frost, and boots. And you can always go in if it's not exactly what you're looking for. Like maybe you don't want the word coat to be his little charcoal buttons. You can always go in and edit those over here because it will make changes as you put it in there. Once you're happy with what you have, you're going to click on either use in a design, and you can create a link to a website. So if you wanted to embed this into your Schoology or Teams or any of the other LMSs you might be using, you can do it here. Or if you already have a presentation with the sight words that you've been using and you want this to go at the end of it, just to have like that closure activity or that last activity, you can always put it in a presentation. And then publish also will do the same thing. It basically makes it a website link. But if you want to be able to change anything or add anything you want to use in a design. So we're going to put ours in a presentation for this first round. And as you can see, now it is a beautiful slide where our students can interact with it. If I want to present it, I could put this on my smartboard. I could, um, you know, share it with in a link with students that have been absent. I can do a lot of things with this. And so again, now that it is active, I can still do all of those things. So you can have the student play with it as much as you'd like. So that is our elementary level 1. All right, now let's make one for our middle schoolers. Again, from this create page, we want to make sure we are on Canva AI, and we want to make sure that we're under code. So for our middle schoolers, let's do a science. I'm going to go ahead and type in my instructions, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our prompt in, and again, we're going to tell it to go. We're going to give it a second. We're going to generate an interactive one-page visual note sheet explaining the difference between physical and chemical changes for middle school science. It's going to be clear and student-friendly definitions. They're going to have a T-chart where they're going to compare the physical versus chemical changes with drag and drop words for students to sort. 4 examples on each side, and a quick check section with 3 is it physical or chemical practice questions. Bright but clear design suitable for classroom projection and digital notebook use. Y'all, that's a lot going on there, so we're going to have to give it a second to code, and I'll be back as soon as it's finished. All right, guys, we are back. That coding, because this is such a huge interactive activity, took about 3.5 minutes. So just know if you are wanting to do bigger things, you can't do these last second right before class starts. You're going to have to plan ahead, which hopefully we're all doing. So this is the final product of what I was given using our prompt. And as you can see, it has the definition for physical change and the definition for chemical change. As always, when you're using AI, you want to verify that all information is correct, but it appears to be. And now they have several things that they can do here. So I could make this an entire web page for them to interact with. They have the drag and drop where they're going to sort the changes, where they would put the physical changes here, the chemical changes over here. And then they also have the physical change examples. So if they're unsure, it's right below so they can see that, what that might look like. And then they have a quick little test. So maybe you wanted to give this as your exit ticket at the end of a lesson, or maybe you wanted to give it at the beginning to gauge your students' understanding of their prior knowledge before you get into it. There's lots of different ways you can do this. You can, again, use in a design, you can, if we do a website, to make it an active link. And so if I go up here and I publish my website, and so I'm going to tell it to publish, and then it's going to give me a link. I can share it on Schoology. I can share it in Teams. I can post it on my website if I have my teacher website through my school. If I want them to have, maybe it's for just extra study guide material that I want them to have access to. So again, I can drag and drop these. Let's say rusting iron, if I put that in the wrong spot, it doesn't turn green. So now if it doesn't change, I know those are wrong. So then I need to move them. They need to switch places. Okay. So they have lots of ways to interact with this. So this is a really nice um, activity, like I said, that you can post pretty much wherever you want to. All right, our last example for today is going to be for our high schoolers. Again, we want to make sure from this page that we are Canva AI, and we want to make sure that we click on code and it is highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and put my prompt in, and we're going to tell it to create a modern, visually appealing slide for high school ELA students to analyze a character from Romeo and Juliet. We're going to let that code, and I'll be back when it's finished. All right, so coding for this one took just under 2 minutes again. And we have this beautiful interactive template for our students. So we could post this again in Teams, we could post it in Schoology, Blackboard, on our website, wherever we want them to be able to use it. And they would just simply go in and they can type directly into the box, make their notes. So you could assign each one a specific character from Romeo and Juliet. If you wanted, they can upload an image. They can type in all of the things that you're looking for. You can certainly change these over here if there's something that you're looking for, you can add it over here. So again, I can use this however I want. I am going to, because I want to be able to use this as a link, I'm going to publish it as a website. Now you can do a lot of things with this. You can make it a whiteboard and make it interactive for your smart boards. There's a lot of different things you can do. This is just a quick 10-minute, hey, how can I use this quickly in my classroom where it's teacher and time friendly? I can hit my educational goals with my state standards and make it accessible for all of my students. Now you can dive much deeper in here and you can do all of the things. And if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments. And I can make longer videos that go deeper and show you how to do a lot of those other things. But these are just quick tips to get you using the technology. Thanks for hanging out with me at Tekanna today, where teaching meets technology. If today inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow educators who could use a refill of ideas. In the meantime, keep learning, keep creating, and keep spilling the tea, one cup at a time.
Spill the tea, hey, we're learning free, teacher friendly, time in harmony.